Beth, your business Foundrae is ever expanding. You just went through a divorce and you're rediscovering who you are.
Yes.
You good?
Yes. Yes.
I'm so happy you're good.
Thanks for asking. I mean, I think we need to start asking that of each other more often.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
What's in your heart, not in your mind.
Yes.
Hi, Beth.
Hi.
I'm so happy you're here.
I am so happy to be here. I mean, I was thinking on my way over about how we met, and I was thinking about how you told me about how you were a musician and then you ended up performing actually, I think at our store opening party.
At your store opening party and providing an all-female jazz group.
Yeah.
We did it in the basement. It was so awesome. But it was really Grace, my sister, who introduced us.
Yeah. And to me, that is pretty much defines how things always go, for Foundrae, which is how I meet incredible people and how people really have so many gifts to offer. And then it ends up really creating kind of a world.
I know. I feel like the second I met you, I knew you forever.
Yeah. We always had that connection.
I know. And then when I knew I wanted to do a podcast and then you were going to be in town, it was like the stars were aligned.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I really am.
So thank you for coming today. It means a lot to me to share your heart and, what makes you authentic. Today, I want to explore authenticity because I really look up to you as someone who lives their full authentic self in a world of luxury and jewelry and money and creativity. It's hard to find someone so real. I'll never forget the first time meeting you was in Grace's kitchen.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about Foundrae and the symbolism behind so much and why you do it. And it's not just a sparkly jewelry brand.
Yes.
And I just thought, wow, this is someone who has really worked on herself, knows who she is. I want to be like that. I want to be an artist like that. I want to be able to inspire people like you do. So
I feel like that the whole point of Foundrae for me was about the symbolism and about trying to find ways in which I could both memorialize different aspects of my life and really reflect on it, but then also inspire the next chapter. Because I think that sometimes we get a little too comfortable in what we do and we're not growing enough.
For me, I feel like it's not even too comfortable. Most creatives, most people that I know are just blocked. They're not living their full blossom self. Yes. And the second I met you, I thought, I need to know this person. I need to learn from this person because it feels like you really you don't see obstacles.
So I think you're right. And that I don't see obstacles. And I want to say why, which is, it's because I'm not afraid of falling down in front of people. And so if you don't mind...
I'm going to just put Luna in. Will you put Luna in the house? Sorry.
It's... Come on. Why does she have this thing around her neck?
Because you know how to execute in a way that a lot of creatives get frozen and paralyzed with fear. Why are you so good at just like living in the flow?
I think that too often people have defined what they think is their perfect ending. And then there's so much striving towards that perfect ending that they're not realizing that the path actually might be different than they had imagined. And I think that I've always had a different approach about life where I feel like you should take a step forward, see how that feels, and then take another step and then take another step. And you end up kind of sometimes having a meandering path. But you end up to a place where you never expect it, And I think like when I launched my first business with my partner Rebecca Taylor, And
You created it with Rebecca.
yeah. We were 23, and
It's a fashion brand.
it was a fashion brand, and we just loved what we did. We wanted to make clothing. And so I think that having the idea that every day you could do what you love and, be in the fashion industry, that was success for us. We didn't have any, exit strategy. We didn't have any, defined dollar amount. And I think instead, I remember writing a list back then, this was when I was like 24. I did it probably a year after we started, where I said, happy, happier, and happiest. And I wrote down things that I wanted, that I felt like would define success for me. And I remember, one of them was I didn't want to ship anymore. This is so.
You didn't want to go to FedEx.
Right. I
Who
didn't
wants to go to FedEx?
like pack up the boxes.
I don't.
So
I do sometimes.
but so I think that instead of saying, "Oh, I need another,"
At 24, girl, you were evolved. You were living your high life at 24. At 39, I'm still like, please, God, don't make me go to FedEx.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I actually ended up going back to FedEx when I started Foundrae, and I loved it.
You did?
I felt young again, and I felt rejuvenated. Because. That's a whole nother subject. But, sometimes when, things have gotten so large in the organization that, you find when you're standing in line at FedEx, you actually get that chance to daydream. And then I was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm here again. Yeah. But anyway, I
love that.
So instead of saying, I need another $1 million in sales.
Right.
I just thought, okay, I wanted a private office with a door that I could shut, because I was constantly like crying in front of people. and I thought, oh gosh, it'd be so nice if I could just cry in private,
Well, you were 24.
Yeah.
I mean, every 24-year-old cries.
Oh, shoot.
Like 3 times a day.
Oh, and especially, back then it's like every single, shipment we made, if it wasn't successful, we'd be out of business. And so that kind of level of stress, it's hard. And so I wanted a door. I didn't want to ship, and I wanted access to outdoor space. And
at work?
No, just in life.
Oh, in life. Yeah,
So I thought, I love the idea of like a terrace or something. But the nice thing is when you define something like access to outdoor space, again, you're not saying, okay, I need to buy a $4 million home. Instead, you start to think, well, how can I get access to outdoor space right now? And so then, you think, okay, I'm going to make sure that I go to the West Side Highway, on the weekend and enjoy the parks over there more. And so I think if you start to define things by, like more specific about how you want to feel in that moment, I think there's different ways to achieve that.
Right. And you going to the West Side Highway, feeling outside, then you can call it in other aspects of your life. So it just kind of.
Yeah. And then slowly, I remember when, we were trying to buy an apartment, our first apartment, and I really wanted a space with outdoor space, and we just couldn't afford it. So then we ended up getting a house outside of the city that we spent most weekends in. We got a smaller apartment on the Lower East Side that was affordable. And so, you just have to kind of, shift oftentimes.
Right.
Into really kind of thinking, what will give me energy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was success then to you. What is success? What is inner success to you now? And what are those things that you're putting on your list?
I would say that I approach life in the same way, which is I think that it's very important to constantly grow and to do things that make yourself a little bit uncomfortable in order to experience something new and to be curious. I think you meet incredible people that are so inspiring. I think it's really important to create. For me, that is happiness. Creating.
I know.
Love it.
And you've really been able to now create this global brand, jewelry brand, Foundrae, but not just jewelry. Yeah. So you can create. Can you tell me why it's not just jewelry?
Well, I've always talked about Foundrae as being tools of self-discovery and self-expression. And it started off for me with the symbolism, the whole idea that I feel like, I guess it's about unlocking and unblocking, where you said. And I think that sometimes words actually, like we get in our own way. And so the beauty of symbolism is that it speaks to your unconscious. And so, I feel that what we're trying to do in order to really to be happy is to align who we are on the inside with who we show the world we are on the outside. And in order to do that, your unconscious and your conscious have to be on the same page. Is that making sense?
Totally. But how do you have your unconscious and your conscious on the same page when you're pulled in so many directions on the outside? And how do you have self-confidence to connect all the dots?
I mean, I guess I really feel that you have to find the thing in your life that that allows you to lose track of time. Where like
one thing, or your whole life needs to be just kind of
no. I'm saying whether it's meditation or whether it's playing the piano
or your family
painting or singing or it's the. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. It could be several things. It could be cooking. It could be reading. But there's always something that you would do that no matter where you were, no matter, if you were compensated for it or not, that gives you energy rather than depletes you.
Right.
And to me, when you're in that state, I hear a lot of people define it as flow, and when you're in that real, creative, the open-mindedness, I feel like where, you're fully connected, all aspects of yourself. I think that's when things become really clear for you. Yeah.
So you have been through a lot recently in your home life and your work life, and you're expanding the business.
Yes.
How do you maintain that flow with so much change?
I guess I feel that people are very quick to define aspects of their life as failures, and they'll say, well, that didn't work out or that didn't work out. And actually, I think, I just got divorced 2 weeks ago.
I know. Congrats.
I mean, I guess the whole point for me is I don't feel that it was a failed marriage. I feel that it was a very successful marriage that needed to end. And, but I feel grateful for that marriage. I think that, we did incredible things together. We grew a lot. We had beautiful children, and
you still have beautiful children.
Yeah, you're right. We have beautiful children. But I think that sometimes people get so caught up with the idea that something has to be forever, or they have to be the best, or, that they're quick to dismiss, the success in it. And I really think that we have these, successful moments constantly in our lives. And we have to recognize it, that if it's real and you learned something and, you loved and you got to open your heart, then that is successful. It really is.
I'm just getting emotional.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that everybody needs to hear that.
Yeah.
That they can forgive themselves.
Yes.
That they can forgive themselves for and honor the successful kind of moments.
Yeah.
That we put a lot of pressure on ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
To achieve, to earn, to make sure our kid speaks. My eldest son's on the spectrum, and he didn't speak till he was 4.
Right.
And, my husband is amazing at honoring all the successful moments.
Right.
And I live in the worry.
Right.
Because somebody has to.
Right.
No, I mean, of course I believe in him and I know he's going to change humanity and
Yes.
live the life that he's going to live.
Yes.
But, you know, where there is sorrow, there is joy. Where there is,
Yes.
there is questions, there is learning, you know? So I think we all just have to kind of forgive ourselves.
Yes.
And honor ourselves.
Yes.
And just be present to the moment and know that we're all doing the best we can.
So I think that we have to see that everyone has a gift, everyone. But I also think that oftentimes the things that you think are what's wrong with you is your gift. You know, that there's paradoxes in all of us, that, you know, the contradictive, you know, aspects of yourself that don't fit neatly in a box. Mm-hmm. And I think too often we hide those aspects of ourselves because we think no one's going to get it. No one's going to understand, you know, this aspect of my background or that I, you know, love this. And I actually think that it's those contradictions within yourself that is what makes you so special and beautiful.
And authentic.
Right. Yes.
Right.
You know, things aren't so neat. And so I you know, and we talk about these aspects of our lives, you know, I think the more we can see that, you know, that we are books and that there's many chapters. I mean, I talk about this a lot about in Foundrae, where I talk about our jewelry as our stories. And it's because, you know, we have many chapters in our lives. We do. And just because one is over and another one is beginning, it doesn't mean that other chapter was any less real or any less valuable.
Right.
And, you know, I have two metaphors that I think about a lot, which is about, you know, a book and a chapter, but the other one is about the idea of a snake and how a snake sheds skin and renews, and then sheds skin and renews and grows. And I see that as us, that we have so many complexities about who we are. And I think that, you know, the minute you recognize that the person sitting across from you also has so many complexities and that they also have dreams and aspirations. And if you can, you know, get out of your own way to start thinking about that other person too, then your life gets enriched by learning about theirs.
Right.
You know, and I think those are real connections. You know, it's how you kind of operate heart to heart with people.
Yeah. What's my next question? So you are one of the most authentic, confident people I know by landslide.
It's so interesting because I really just don't define myself that way.
Well, maybe that's what you got to do. You got to just kind of give it to God or give it to, you know, just give it up and just be yourself.
I mean, I think that if you are honest about your life and things that you care about and you're willing to be vulnerable, then you know, we talked about this yesterday on the phone. I think that you end up finding your people, you know, and
right. And
you don't need to be everything to everybody in the world, but you want to be seen, you know, but I think it's not just about you being seen. I also want to help my closest friends too. And actually, you know, be a support for them and make a difference in their lives. You know, I think that to have purpose in life, I mean, to me, that's everything, you know, to have a purpose and have a mission.
And therefore it translates to authenticity and self-confidence. Do you ever doubt yourself?
I mean, constantly.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, all I do is doubt myself.
Right.
And,
because you're real with yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, of course I doubt myself because I see myself make mistakes every day.
But it's not
you know?
like negative self-talk doubt. Is it? Or is it?
I would say,
am I doing this right?
Yeah, of course.
What is that?
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I have the protection tenant in Foundrae because, I created a lot of this because they were issues that I have to deal with in my own life. And so when I talk about protection, I'm talking about the damage we do ourselves, the negative self-talk. But it shouldn't stop me. It's the point. It shouldn't stop me from taking action. It shouldn't stop me from taking risks.
And it doesn't, because you don't let it.
Exactly. So it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Right.
It just means that you have to, I think you have to have a little bit of humor about, your own life, and realize that when you fall down, very ungracefully sometimes, you just have to laugh.
Right.
You just have to. Because that's the only way.
So much easier said than done, though.
And honestly, I think that if you can laugh at yourself and admit your mistakes, then there's always going to be somebody next to you that offers a hand to help you back up. And so one of the things that I talk about a lot is how, no one is capable of doing anything by themselves. And I really believe that. You always have, other people, that you bounce ideas off, or that you do something together, or that, maybe, there's one aspect of what you do really well, and then you need another person's gifts in order to pair up to do this production, so. And so I think it's about really building that community in whatever it is you're thinking about at that moment. So, I really, there's a lot of communities. You have your professional community, you have your family community, you have, your friends. And so, I talk a lot about, for example, the 7 types of love, where it's not just romantic love, but it's also, self-love. It's also friendship. It's the love between parents and children. And I just think we have to recognize how many pairs we have in our lives that make us who we are.
And honoring all the 7 types of love that give us strength, so that we can be the creative beings that we are.
Exactly.
But how does somebody do it when they don't have wherewithal? They don't have means.
No.
They don't have confidence. How do you build your community? It really starts from within. I mean, there have been moments in life where I've had negative $800 in my bank account in college, and I want to sing and I want to go to New York. And you know what I mean? It's like, and I wish I could give some advice to myself, but then I'm still kind of that broken artist then. I'm a mom and I have to keep it together, and I'm constantly searching still.
But see, I think that's a good thing. So, and I talk about it constantly, that I think I always talk about the people that are part of the Foundrae community as seekers, because we are searching. And
I love that.
And I don't think that you should ever stop. I think that life isn't static. And if you're feeling like, let's say today, you have those, euphoric moments where you feel like life is perfect. I feel balanced. I feel great. My kids are happy. I'm happy. How long does that last? I don't know.
6 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And so
if I'm lucky,
it's like, the point is nothing is static,
right?
And so you have to just keep on moving, keep on seeking, and then, but really cherish those moments when they happen. If you don't have what you think you need, to get started.
How do you do it if you don't feel like you don't have anything, and you don't even have the confidence in yourself to get it?
So I think it's very much like what I was talking about earlier, where if you want a house with outdoor space, then you start to think, how else can I get outdoor space right now?
Or just go outdoors.
That's my point. And so I think that the idea is to move in the direction. And that it's not about getting there. It is the fact that you're moving towards it, and then constantly being willing to move, you know. And so when I wanted to be in fashion, okay, I was 6 years old at a very young age, you know, living in Brownsville, on the border of border of Mexico. I did not know anyone that had ever even been to New York. But I told my parents that I was going to move to New York
At 6.
At 6.
What was New York? You didn't even know it. Oh, from the movies.
No, you're not going to believe where it was from, but it was from I think you're younger than me, so I don't know if you know it, but Zsa Zsa Gabor, Green Acres.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, New York is the place for me. And she was like on a terrace and she had this big feather boa.
I mean,
and then she
I
left.
would go.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, that lady's crazy for leaving that place, you know? And so when I came here when I was 18, that was the first time I came to New York.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah.
And never left.
And I never left. I love it. And so and all my friends from Brownsville, you know, I'm not even in, you know, fashion anymore. You know, I'm in the jewelry, but I have to tell you, everybody is so happy. Like one of my friends, for example, from Brownsville, you know, she lives in Utah now and she's a teacher. And several years ago, she told her class, she said, you know, I want to tell you that you can do anything you want to do. And she actually used me as an example where she said, you know, my best friend from childhood wanted to be in fashion. And then, you know, and so I think that we do champion in each other, you know, and so the more you talk about it and share with people what's important to you, then I do think that people rally around and say, you know,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, they do. Like where they'll say, oh, you know, here, I met somebody yesterday that, you know, is also in that same area that you're in. And it is one of the reasons why I think when you wear your stories, like how I talk about Foundrae, today I'm wearing balance. So if I meet you for the first time and you say, oh, you know, I love your necklace. What does it mean? And I say, oh, it means balance. The next question is you're probably going to say, oh, shoot, you know, I wish I had that, or do you have that, or what's going on?
Are you balanced, or do you need to be balanced, or I need to be balanced? I mean, who doesn't need to be balanced?
But we're going to end up having a more substantive conversation.
Right.
Rather than just, who are you? Where do your kids go to school or something?
I mean, I'm not interested in any of that anyway. Yeah. I would probably connected immediately.
Yes. But I think that the more you actually talk about what's real to you,
right,
then you're moving towards it.
It's been really hard for me because I am a singer.
Right.
Like that's my true creative meditation flow expression. And it's my commercial career as a singer. It's tough to be a singer and to be a mom.
Yeah.
You know, you're, in the words of not my ex-father-in-law, my late father-in-law, right. I am a lady of the night. Mm-hmm. And so it's just been tough to maintain my family life and to be on the road or to open up for somebody.
Right.
I mean, I've found kind of my flow singing anthems here and there and having my robust Star Rock Productions business, which has been such a blessing.
Right.
But never really fulfilling my career as a singer. And I'm 39.
From my perspective, I see you as a singer. So you need to know that. Like,
I need to know that. I need to know. I need to just know that that's what I am.
Yes.
And I'm good enough in that.
You know, just a week ago, I contacted this guy named Stefan that lives in London, who is an accountant by day, and then on his free time he hollows out books and makes sculptures. And I bought one of his pieces for our first store, and I just contacted him again, and I said, you know, I'd love to get another one for the next store. And then he goes, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can be an artist again. And I responded, no, you are an artist. You know, just because you're not selling your art or you're an accountant during the day doesn't mean you're not an artist. And so you are a singer in that same respect.
Right. Beth, what are you manifesting for the future?
I feel like I'm manifesting every single day, which is really trying to give myself and everyone around me tools of self-discovery and self-expression. It's how I describe Foundrae, but it's also my personal mission in life. It is my purpose. And so I constantly try to do that. And, that's what really gives me meaning in my life.
I love it. Thank you for being here today and sharing a little bit of your heart. Means a lot.
Thanks. Thank you for caring and asking.
Of course.
Yeah.